Hey guys, out here working on the My Little Pony project again. Got our fuel hat we're working on modifying, and I took and cleaned up this end. They crimped off and had all boogered up. I'm going to use it for my feed. We decided we're going to run one of these AEM methanol compatible in-tank fuel pumps. Mostly so we run E85 or whatever we decide to do with this car. And also because we're a dealer and they went on sale and they're dirt cheap. So that's the other good thing. I don't mention that very often, but we're a dealer for AEM, a lot of other companies, about 100. We need parts. Basically, we can 2-day it anywhere in the country for like $10. We're cheap. Sell it to way under what you can get stuff at Jegs and whatnot for. Need wheels. We're dealer for A-Star wheels. But anyway, what we're going to do is, instead of doing one big feed, I got the idea. I think I'm going to run 2 feeds at some point on this car. I've got some Chinese rails. We're going to run 2 -6 feeds, one from each pump, straight to each rail, and then back feed a return -6. So for now, we're just going to put another -6 line in this fitting, in this hat. But instead of doing what we thought about doing like a bulkhead fitting, I bought some of this stainless steel 3/8 fuel line tubing. I'm going to drill a hole for it, slide it in, and then TIG around it. Make it fuel tight. And we're going to tie our second fuel pump onto that. But for now, we're just going to use it for our return. Then we'll have 2 -6 feed lines already ran. All we'll have to do is just pull it off the regulator, put it on the rail, and then move our regulator to the end of both rails. So this should work pretty well, I think. I think it's going to work pretty nice. Not the way a lot of guys do it. Everybody wants to run one huge feed line, one big return line. I think we're going to run 2 feed lines. So we'll see how this goes. Hey everybody, I got my little helper out here with me today. We've been doing a couple paying jobs, trying to make a little money, putting in My Little Pony project. But we have made some progress on the car. We've been working on the fuel hat. As you can see, my lovely assistant Natalie is helping me with. If you'll see here, here's the original feed we cleaned up. And then here is our auxiliary feed for our second pump. We'll probably use this honestly off the bat for our return. And then we'll add another, so we make this focus. We TIG that around, and then we add another. Then what we do? She's a little shy. She gets a little quiet, but we gave a couple little tacks. She's gonna show it to you. Now it's been a big help day. We've been doing a lot. Hell, we can show you what we've been working on. We've been working on this Toyota Solara. Guy up the road had a pretty big oil leak. A little more than he let on, I think, but that's fine. It happens. Valve cover gasket leaking pretty bad. Leaking bad enough you couldn't tell what else could have been leaking. So we fixed it, hosed it down with some brake clean. We fired it up. It should be drying off pretty good now. And we're going to wait a little bit, let it get dried off, and check on it again, see if anything else is leaking on it. You can see here, we pulled this K-member out because a guy from Clarksville is supposed to come down here, buy it today, check out the shop. I honestly, he's wanting us to do a little work on his Mustang for him. He's wanting 2 front end put on it and fiberglass front end. So we were going to do that for him. But he ain't texted me back, and he ain't really responded. So I'm assuming he's just full of junk, but that's fine. You get that a lot with people. They get big eyes and they think they need a little bit of everything, but they don't really want anything. I don't know if y'all seen my welder. I've got an Eastwood TIG 200 amp AC/DC It's pretty good for a $699 machine, which in this class is dirt cheap. You won't find much for 699 bucks in this class of welder. So we've got that. Also, me and the daughter's about to work on after she gets done playing is the key switch on this car was bad, which wasn't no big deal. It's kind of a pain in the ass in these cars. Apparently a pretty common pain in the ass. And you can see it right there, it's the white connector. They delaminate and come apart like that. Yeah, pretty much junk from the factory, but that happens. Ford couldn't get everything right. They made a lightweight car that hooks awesome and goes fast, so key switch we can put up with. Here, while we're here, we can show you. This is where somebody spray painted the top of the car. I think they honestly were trying to do good, keep the car from rusting. It had been poured into the pine tree, and they cleaned the pine sap off of it, and I think they scratched the paint up pretty good, which is fine. It needs to be painted anyway, so it ain't no big deal. Oh, if I ain't seen this, I can remember. LS1 radiator out of a 4th gen Camaro. Fits perfect in a Fox body, like scary good. So we will be using that. Of course, I took and had the fans I had sitting in it, and they fell and busted up that one side of it. So not sure we'll be able to use those. We may try. It just depends. Oh well, live and learn. Do stupid shit. Pay for your mistakes. Other than that, well, I guess we can show you the fuel pump we plan on using. Yeah, baby.
Can I have a frozen bicycle?
Yeah, we'll get your frozen bicycle out so you can ride it. That ain't no problem.
It's on the right.
I know where it's at, baby. I'll be over there just a second to get it. Here's a fuel pump we're going to steal for this build. It's an Aeromotive 501205. We actually won this thing for free. Well, not really for free. I mean, hell, it cost us a bunch of money to win it. But OSCA has a contingency money with AEM. So we had a couple $100 of contingency money to spend from last year when runner up in a couple races. So we spent that on that and a regulator and some other stuff. So we're waiting on our Aeromotive stuff to come in. When that comes in, we'll have some stuff to do for sure. We got a bunch of fittings coming from them. Oh, also we got some boxes today. Board parts. We had one that was in by the house this morning. The postman left. I don't see it. I'm hoping it's my fuel line, but I'm not sure what that box is. So, guess we'll see. Anyway, that's an update for this afternoon. It's Saturday. See y'all. What's up, guys? Still working on my Little Pony project. Still got my helper with me. Say hi. So we're trying to figure out how we're going to wire up our steering wheel controls for trans brake and our bump box, and I like to do 3-step 2 on this wheel. Ran into a little issue, being that I would have thought there was an individual wire for resume, set excel, coast, on and off, and like they were just providing grounds to trigger stuff. I was wrong. That's not what happens. What happens is there's all the switches have a common ground, which I figured was true, but there's a resistor in each switch, so it throws a different voltage back to the computer so it knows what you're wanting to do. So there's only 3 wires. The ground, the horn, and the wire for all the cruise control. Now, one thing I haven't figured out is the on button appears to do nothing, which I find interesting. It doesn't make any sense. I would think it would have to do something for while I even have it. So right now, the off button is the only button that provides true 100% connectivity. The rest of them have resistors in them, and the horn button has 100% connectivity. So what I'm thinking is the horn is going to be the trans brake. The off button will be my bump box, because it has a nice quick click that I really like. I really wish my off button was my trans brake, but because I wanted to resume or set Excel or coast for my trans brake and still have a horn, because we found out with Kevin's truck, if you have a turbo LS, even with a hood stack, people don't hear you at a racetrack because everything else there has open headers and sounds like a fucking pissed off whatever. Explosions coming out of people's cars, and they can't hear you. People just stand in front of you in station lanes, and you literally have to rev the truck up or nudge them with it for them to know you're coming. So we're gonna do something about that. I don't know what yet. I may pull apart the steering wheel and see what if I can find the resistors, and maybe I'll run my own individual wires. But there's a problem with that. The clock spring doesn't have enough wires in it, so we're kind of at a loss right now. I almost made a goof up and tried using the airbag as I was trying to figure this out, the airbag connector. I realized real quick, wait a minute, we don't need to do that. So luckily I didn't do nothing stupid, but right now all we got is these 3 wires to play with. What's nice is there's a nice plug-in right here to tie into. My daughter just ran off, so we're going to go chase her down. But so I don't forget, the blue wire is the cruise control buttons, yellow wire is the horn, and black is the common ground. And I'm going to go find my daughter where she went to.